3 out of 4 men over 50 are dealing with prostate inflammation right now. And here's the kicker. 90% of them have no idea what's really causing it. I'm Dr. Emily Carson, and after more than 15 years working with patients here in Canada, I've seen this pattern way too often to ignore it anymore. If you're waking up 3, 4, maybe 5 times a night to pee, feeling like your bladder never fully empties, or dealing with a weak stream that makes you stand there forever, your body's trying to tell you something, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do about it in the next few minutes. No fluff, no long medical lectures, just practical steps you can start using today. Look, I get it. You probably thought these issues were just part of getting older, eh? That's what most of my patients tell me when they first come in. But here's the truth I wish more doctors would share with you. This isn't about bad luck or genetics. It's about everyday habits that have been quietly inflaming your prostate for years. And the good news, you can turn this around. So if you're serious about taking back control of your nights and your life, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I share evidence-based strategies every week to help you age stronger, not weaker. Right, let's dive in. Now, before we get into the solutions, and trust me, we're getting there fast, I need to quickly explain what's happening inside your body. Your prostate is this walnut-sized gland sitting just below your bladder. Its main job is producing fluid that nourishes and protects sperm. Pretty straightforward, right? But here's where things get tricky. After you hit 50, your prostate naturally starts to enlarge. This condition's called benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH for short. Now, even though it's non-cancerous, it can seriously mess with your quality of life. As your prostate grows, it starts squeezing the urethra. That's the narrow tube that carries urine out of your body. This makes it harder for your bladder to empty completely. That's why you're running to the washroom every couple of hours, especially at night. That's why your stream's weaker than it used to be. And that's why you're feeling like you never quite finish. These symptoms tend to get worse gradually, which is exactly why catching this early matters so much. Here's what you need to watch for. If you've got a weak urine stream, if you're feeling like you need to go again right after you just went, or if you're getting up multiple times at night, pay attention. These aren't just minor annoyances, they're your body waving a red flag. The thing that really gets me after all these years of practice is how many guys ignore these early signs. They figure it's just aging and there's nothing to be done about it. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Left unchecked, BPH can lead to bladder damage and chronic urinary retention. And nobody wants to deal with that, believe me. All right, now let's talk about what's actually causing this inflammation. This is the part most doctors don't spend enough time explaining, but it's absolutely crucial you understand it. First major habit that's destroying your prostate health: holding in your urine for too long. I know, sometimes you're in the middle of something important, or you don't want to use public washrooms, or you just don't think it's urgent enough. But here's what's happening when you do that. When you hold your pee, the pressure inside your bladder builds up. This doesn't just cause discomfort. It actually irritates your prostate, especially if it's already enlarged. The result? Inflammation that makes all your symptoms worse. Plus, the longer urine sits in your bladder, the more concentrated it becomes, which can lead to urinary tract infections. For guys with BPH, this habit is particularly brutal. Your urethra is already narrowed, making it harder to empty your bladder in the first place. Add frequent episodes of holding it in, and your bladder starts to weaken and lose its elasticity. Eventually, even when you give it the chance, it struggles to empty completely. This sets you up for chronic retention, and that's a road you really don't want to go down. The fix here is simple but powerful. Listen to your body and go when you need to go. I tell all my patients this, and it sounds almost too easy, but it works. Maintaining consistent urine flow reduces irritation to both your bladder and prostate. It's one of those small habits that makes a massive difference over time. Second habit that's inflaming your prostate: too much caffeine. Now, before all you coffee lovers get upset with me, I'm not saying you need to quit completely. But if you're downing 3, 4, 5 cups a day, plus maybe some tea or pop on top of that, we need to talk. Caffeine irritates your bladder and increases urine production. That means more frequent and urgent trips to the washroom. For men dealing with BPH, this extra pressure intensifies symptoms and contributes to inflammation. I've had patients who cut their coffee intake from 4 cups down to 1 or 2, and they noticed a huge improvement within just a couple of weeks. So here's what I recommend. Try limiting yourself to 1 cup in the morning, maybe 2 max. Switch to decaf for any afternoon cups, and watch out for hidden sources like energy drinks, certain sodas, and even some medications. Your bladder will thank you, and you'll likely find yourself sleeping better too. Third habit, and this one's huge, living a sedentary lifestyle. I get it, especially during those long Canadian winters when you just want to stay on the couch under a blanket, watching the Leafs or the Habs. But sitting for hours on end reduces blood flow to your pelvic region. This contributes to fluid retention and inflammation. Over time, that sluggish circulation affects how both your bladder and prostate function. The solution doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to run marathons or hit the gym every day. Gentle activity like walking works wonders. Even just 20 minutes a day, maybe a stroll around the neighborhood after dinner, helps maintain healthy blood flow to your prostate. If you're working at a desk all day, try to stand up and move around every hour or so. I've got patients in their 70s who started taking daily walks, and they tell me it's made a world of difference, not just for their prostate symptoms, but for their overall energy levels and mood too. Movement keeps everything functioning better, plain and simple. Fourth habit that's causing problems, your diet. Foods high in saturated fats, sugars, and processed ingredients trigger systemic inflammation throughout your body. This doesn't just worsen BPH, it affects your heart health and metabolic balance too. On the flip side, a diet rich in vegetables, healthy fats, and antioxidants helps calm your immune system and protect your prostate. Here's what you want to focus on. Load up on tomatoes, leafy greens like spinach and kale, and fatty fish like salmon. These foods are packed with compounds that fight inflammation. Berries, nuts, and seeds are your friends too. Meanwhile, try to cut back on red meat, especially processed varieties, and limit your intake of sugary foods and refined carbs. One of my patients, a guy named Robert up in Calgary, switched to what he called a Mediterranean-style diet. Lots of vegetables, olive oil, fish, and whole grains. Within 3 months, his nighttime bathroom trips dropped from 5 times to just once or twice. And he lost some weight in the process, which doesn't hurt either. Fifth habit, and this one surprises people, poor hydration. A lot of guys actually reduce their water intake because they're trying to avoid frequent urination. But this backfires big time. When you don't drink enough water, your urine becomes highly concentrated and irritating to your bladder and urethra. This can worsen inflammation and even increase your risk of urinary tract infections. The key is drinking water consistently throughout the day rather than chugging a bunch right before bed. Aim for about 8 glasses daily, but adjust based on your activity level and the weather. During summer, or if you're being active, you'll need more. Try to finish most of your daily water intake by early evening to minimize nighttime disruptions. Now, here's where things get really important. Understanding how inflammation drives prostate growth. When your prostate gets irritated, whether from pressure, infection, or urine retention, your immune system responds by sending inflammatory cells to the area. This causes swelling and discomfort, but more importantly, it sets off a biochemical chain reaction. During this process, your body releases cytokines and growth factors. These substances are meant to promote healing, but they can also stimulate the production of new prostate cells. This is especially problematic for older men whose hormonal environment already favors prostate enlargement. So, inflammation becomes more than just a symptom. It actually fuels the condition itself. Chronic inflammation also affects surrounding tissues, including your bladder, neck, and urethra. This further restricts urine flow and increases urgency. The inflammation might be subtle, not causing fever or sharp pain, but it's quietly contributing to prostate growth. That's why many men with BPH also experience persistent pelvic discomfort or pressure. Let me tell you about a patient of mine. I'll call him David, though that's not his real name. He's 68, lives just outside Toronto, and he came to see me about 3 years ago. David was waking up 5 times every single night to pee. 5 times! He was exhausted, irritable, and his wife was getting frustrated too because his constant getting up was disrupting her sleep. David thought it was just part of getting old. He figured there was nothing to be done except maybe take some medication. But when we talked about his daily habits, everything became clear. He was drinking 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day. He had a desk job and barely moved except to go to the washroom or kitchen. And he'd regularly hold his urine during long meetings or his commute home. We made some straightforward changes. David cut his coffee down to 1 cup in the morning. He started taking a 20-minute walk after dinner every evening. Even when it was cold out, he just bundled up like a proper Canadian, eh? He made a point of using the washroom whenever he felt the urge. No more holding it. And he added more vegetables and fish to his diet, cutting back on the burgers and fries he'd been eating several times a week. Within 2 months, David went from 5 bathroom trips per night to just 1 or 2. He had his energy back. He was sleeping properly again. His wife was happier, and he felt like himself again. The best part? No medications, no surgery, just simple, consistent lifestyle changes. Now, let me give you the complete action plan. This is everything you need to do, starting today, to reduce prostate inflammation and take back control. First, urinate regularly without holding it in. Don't wait until it's urgent when you feel the urge go. This single habit prevents unnecessary pressure on your bladder and reduces prostate irritation. Second, do pelvic floor exercises, also known as Kegels. These strengthen the muscles that control urination. Here's how you do them. Imagine you're trying to stop your urine midstream. You'll feel muscles tighten in your pelvic area. Hold that contraction for 5 seconds, then relax for 5 seconds. Repeat this 10 times, 3 times a day. It's easy to do at home, in the car, anywhere really. And it genuinely helps improve bladder control and reduce post-urination dribbling. Third, stay hydrated properly. Drink 8 glasses of water spread throughout the day. Just don't gulp down a bunch right before bed. Finish most of your fluids by early evening. Proper hydration keeps your urinary tract clean and helps prevent infections. Fourth, eat anti-inflammatory foods daily. Focus on tomatoes, leafy greens like spinach and kale, fatty fish such as salmon and mackerel, berries, and nuts. These foods are loaded with antioxidants, omega-3s, and anti-inflammatory compounds that support prostate and bladder health. At the same time, reduce your intake of caffeine, sugar, processed foods, and excessive red meat. Fifth, move your body every day. You don't need to do anything extreme. A 20-minute walk works perfectly. If you've got a desk job, stand up and stretch every hour. Keep that blood flowing to your pelvic region. This simple habit makes a massive difference in how your prostate functions. Sixth, get regular checkups after age 50. Early detection is everything. Your doctor can monitor any changes and intervene before complications develop, whether through lifestyle modifications, supplements, or medications if needed. Managing BPH is far more effective when you start early. Here's something else I want you to understand about chronic urinary retention, because it's one of the most serious complications of untreated BPH. This happens when your bladder can't empty properly anymore, usually because of persistent obstruction from an enlarged prostate. You might feel like you constantly need to go, but only small amounts come out, or sometimes nothing at all. This isn't just uncomfortable, it's a medical emergency. Over time, retained urine distends your bladder beyond its normal capacity. This weakens the bladder muscles and increases infection risk. In some cases, the pressure from a full bladder can actually cause urine to back up into your kidneys, leading to kidney damage. If left untreated, chronic retention can cause permanent bladder dysfunction. The scary thing is, men often don't realize how serious things have become until symptoms get extreme. The gradual buildup of retention allows your body to adapt until suddenly it can't anymore. Sudden inability to urinate, pain, or swelling in your lower abdomen might be the first alarming signs. At that point, catheterization is often necessary, and long-term management becomes much more complex. That's exactly why I'm so passionate about early screening and regular monitoring. The treatments we have available can prevent urinary retention if they're implemented early, before bladder damage occurs. Taking the risks of chronic retention seriously really highlights why proactive prostate management matters so much. Effective prostate health management starts with consistent, intentional habits. Managing BPH successfully isn't about one big dramatic change. It's about small daily choices that add up over time. The strategies I've shared with you today aren't complicated or expensive. They're practical steps that any of you can implement starting right now. Think about it this way. Your prostate health is like maintaining a house in a Canadian winter. You don't wait until the pipes freeze and burst to take action, right? You do small preventative things consistently. Same principle applies here. Small daily actions prevent big health problems down the road. So let me ask you this. How many times are you getting up at night right now? Drop a comment below and let me know. Is it once, twice, 3 times, or more? I read every single comment and try to respond to as many as I can. Knowing where you're at helps me create content that actually addresses what you're dealing with. And if you've learned something valuable today, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps other men find this information. Next week, I'm going to be talking about the 3 supplements that actually have solid research behind them for prostate health. No gimmicks, just evidence-based recommendations. So make sure you're subscribed and you've got notifications turned on so you don't miss it. Here's the bottom line, and I really want you to hear this. You don't have to wait until symptoms show up to take care of your prostate health. Start today. Small daily actions prevent major health issues tomorrow. The worst mistake you can make is thinking, that won't happen to me until it does. You're not powerless here. Your daily habits have way more influence over your prostate health than your genetics do. The choices you make about what you eat, how much you move, when you use the washroom, how much coffee you drink, all of it matters. And the beautiful thing is you control all of those factors. I've been doing this work for over 15 years now, and I've seen countless men turn things around by implementing exactly what I've shared with you today. Men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, they're sleeping better, they're more comfortable, they've got their energy back. It's not about perfection, it's about progress and consistency. Prevention isn't just a goal, it's a daily commitment to sustainable prostate health. Every time you choose water over that 3rd cup of coffee, every time you go for a walk instead of staying on the couch, every time you eat a salad loaded with tomatoes and greens instead of grabbing fast food, you're investing in your health. Those investments compound over time, just like savings in a TFSA, eh? So let's transform knowledge into action. If this video helped you understand what's really going on with your prostate and what you can do about it, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Maybe it's a buddy from your hockey league, your brother, your dad, or your neighbor. We all know men who are dealing with these issues, but aren't talking about them. Help me get this information out there. And I've got something extra for you. I've put together a free prostate health checklist that breaks down everything we covered today into a simple printable format. You can stick it on your fridge, keep it in your wallet, whatever works for you. The link's right there in the description below. Download it, use it, and start taking control of your prostate health today. Remember, your health deserves this attention. You deserve to sleep through the night. You deserve to have energy during the day. You deserve to not worry every time you're more than 5 minutes from a washroom. All of that's possible, and it starts with the choices you make today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you in the next video.